Hello everyone. So in this video we're talking about fatty liver disease, and specifically I'm going to talk to you about 5 things I would either avoid or be very cautious about having if I had fatty liver disease. Fatty liver is a concern for many people, as millions and millions of people suffer from this condition in the United States and even worldwide, and the numbers are projected to increase because of the increasing numbers of obesity that we are seeing throughout the world. For those of you meeting me for the first time, I'm Dr. Amina, Goodwin, a physician and health coach. I help you to learn how to eat better so that you can feel better. All right, we're going to dive right into it. Recently, somebody told me, and actually I get this all the time, where people are finding out for the first time, oh my goodness, I have fatty liver, like what should I do? How should I eat, and so on and so forth. Okay, so since it's a common question, I thought I'd address it in a video. The first thing that I would avoid, this one is actually one I would avoid if I found out I have fatty liver. I would avoid anything with high fructose corn syrup. So I would start looking very closely at all the ingredients of all the processed packaged foods that I buy. And if it says high fructose corn syrup or fructose anywhere in that list of ingredients, I will put it back on the shelf. Now, fructose, of course, is fruit sugar. And many of you might be thinking, well, what about fruits? Like, fruits have fructose. Yes, fruits have fructose, but it's not pure fructose. It's not concentrated high fructose corn syrup. It's fructose with fiber and other nutrients. So because it is in its natural form with the fiber, and the body has to work to extract it, it's not going to flood the liver as the purified form. The thing about fructose is that it's like alcohol, but it is one of those things that can only be metabolized by the liver. Okay, so if you're having a liver problem and then you're having something that no other tissue in the body can metabolize and utilize, only the liver. If you're having large amounts of this thing, you are going to overburden, you're going to pressure the liver that's already pressured because of the excess fat that's built up in your liver. And that is why you want to avoid fructose. Excess fructose that goes to the liver gets converted and stored as fat in the liver. Cannot be converted and stored anywhere else, because like I said, the liver is the only organ, only tissue in the body that can process, that can metabolize fructose. And for that reason, I would not buy and eat anything that has high fructose corn syrup. I would just get my fructose from my fruits and vegetables, because it can be extracted naturally that way, and slowly, more gradually, because it comes with fiber and water and other things. It's going to be a more slow, gradual release and absorption, and so it's not going to go flooding your liver all at once. Okay, sugar too, by extension, I would be very cautious about added sugar, because yes, like fructose, excess glucose, some of it gets metabolized by the liver and does get stored as fat. However, all the other tissues share glucose as a source of energy. So it's not just the liver alone that's burdened with processing glucose, but the other tissues as well. So not as bad, but if I had fatty liver, especially if it was severe fatty liver, I would try my best as well to limit my added sugar intake. I certainly try to have no more than the recommended daily allowance of 6 teaspoons, which is the same as 24 grams in a day. Okay. Second thing I would avoid if I just found out that I had fatty liver, I would really try to avoid having plain starch, having starch alone. Some people refer to this as having naked carbs. Essentially, similar to sugar, you want your starch to be in a form that it takes a little work, a little effort for the body to break it down. And because the body has to take effort, when the body has to take effort to break something down, it means that it's broken down slowly, gradually over time. And so if the breakdown is gradual, it means that it's a gentle release into your bloodstream and to the liver, so the liver is not overwhelmed. Also, because the breakdown is more gradual, it means that more of what you eat actually moves further down the intestines, and therefore less of it gets absorbed when it's in the upper intestines, and so less would be available to go and rush to the liver and overwhelm it. So those are 2 good reasons for having the starch in a more complex form, meaning with fiber. So if it's plain starch, potatoes, rice, you're not going to have that plain, but have it with vegetables and peas and beans and anyway, fat and protein and so on, not alone, because when it's with all these other things and you have to work harder to extract that energy and leave some to move further down the intestines. Okay, so that's one thing I wouldn't do. Eat starch, eat plain starch, pure starch. I would always combine my starch with fiber and other things. Third thing I would avoid, if I just found out that I have fatty liver, I would totally avoid alcohol. Alcohol is like fructose in that it's the only organ in the body, the only tissues in the body that can metabolize alcohol are the liver cells. So only the liver can metabolize alcohol. Again, if you have a pressured liver, because it's filled with fat, you don't want to put more pressure on it. And so for that reason, I would totally avoid alcohol. I'm just telling you what I would do. I'm kind of obsessive compulsive, and if I have a problem, I want to tackle it head on. I don't want to partially tackle it. I'm going to tackle it. Now, of course, because you can actually reverse fatty liver, and if it's mild enough, you might be able to, when I say reverse, you can make it, you can improve it. And if it's not very severe and your liver is not already having irreversible damage, you could potentially cure it. Okay, but anyway, it depends on how severe your fatty liver is. But say for example, somebody reverses their fatty liver altogether, it's cured, they might think, okay, I can have a little alcohol, but you want to be cautious. But anyway, because alcohol can only be metabolized by the liver, I would avoid it altogether if I had fatty liver disease. Fourth thing, now medications. Now sometimes you cannot avoid medications altogether depending on the medical condition that you have, but I would be very, very, very cautious about the medicines that I'm taking. If I just found out I had fatty liver, I would gather everything I'm taking and I would go to the doctor and I would say, look, doctor, which of these do I really, really, really need? And which ones can I do without? Because the truth is that many people are taking lots of medicines, 6, 7, 10, 20, 30 medicines, and half or more of them they can actually do without, and instead look at the lifestyle and even dietary patterns that can be improved. So I would gather up all the medicines, and including over-the-counter medicines. Of course, Tylenol is a common one. It's processed by the liver, and people with liver disease should avoid Tylenol as much as possible. And there are many other medications as well. I, as an infectious disease specialist, some antibiotics and antiviral and other anti-infective medicines that I give, they're known to cause liver problems. And in people with liver disease, I have to be very cautious. Sometimes you even have to modify doses. But generally speaking, if you have fatty liver disease, you want to start being hyper aware of all the medicines you're taking and only take those that are necessary. Now, don't just stop everything. Go to your doctor, go to whoever prescribed the medicines for you, and have that honest conversation and see which ones you can decrease or wean off, etc. Okay? And then the fifth and final thing that I would be super cautious about is supplements. Now, supplements, vitamins, minerals, and other supplements, herbal supplements, those are very popular. The supplement industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry, if not a trillion-dollar industry. A lot of people depend on supplements instead of real food. I personally prefer real food because I like to taste my food and enjoy my food. I'm not like a big fan of supplements, right? But certainly there are some supplements that can actually damage the liver, some herbs that can damage the liver. I mean, the liver is really important for metabolizing certain things. It produces enzymes and so on. Excuse me. And depending on the herbs or supplements, and some of these things, we don't even know that much about them. And so if you have a liver condition, if you just found out you have fatty liver disease, you want to be very cautious with these herbs and supplements in general. I actually remember we had a patient last year or year before last or so, a man came in with liver failure, and we were doing everything trying to figure out what was going on with him. And ultimately, one of the only tests that came back abnormal was a very high vitamin D level. Turned out that this poor man was taking high doses of vitamin D supplement, because people think, well, with supplements, it's not a drug per se, it's just a supplement. The more, the better. And so he was taking large doses of vitamin D and ended up having vitamin D toxicity. And we had to send him out to a liver transplant center to be evaluated for possible liver transplant. So that's an extreme case, an uncommon case. But the fact is, sometimes people come in with severe liver failure. It happens suddenly, and there are times when supplements are the cause, and sometimes they're, like I said, herbal things. Another thing to worry about as well is the fact that the supplement industry is not regulated, so a lot of times you don't know what you're getting, and things can be adulterated, contaminated, etc. What sometimes people order things from the internet, and you just don't know what you're getting. It could be poison, so be very, very cautious about supplements, including herbs and vitamins, minerals, if you have any problem with your liver, and we're talking about fatty liver disease. So those are the 5 things that I would either try to avoid or be very cautious about having if I just found out that I had fatty liver disease, because I would not want to pressure my liver unnecessarily. Instead, I would want to support it as much as possible so that it can function effectively, efficiently, while I really tackle reversing fat deposits as much as I can. And I have other videos about fatty liver, and I don't think I have one about actually what to do. So this one is talking about what not to do, what not to have, but I should look at one about what to do. All right, well, if you found this video helpful, go ahead and subscribe to this channel so that you can be notified when other videos are dropped. Thanks for watching, and have a good day.